many injured, quite a number of it, with what we keep seeing. And every time we've had resource persons come on here, and even you too as a family member have said, look, if we must make a change, we have to decide that that change must happen. And that's about knowing the power of the electorate and doing what is needful in that regard. Nobody knew more than I do, so we all know. So the question would be, are we still going to sit back and allow for these rhetoric and come and go with administrations, and it doesn't seem as though there is a very solid chance that we, given the Tinubu-led administration is putting all into seeing that we actualize the renewed hope agenda. There has been policies economically, there has been angles towards elevating the socio-economic reality of Nigerians. There has been a facelift from the past administration, talking about the Buhari administration. However, Nigerians are still saying and encouraging the government to do more. But then again, elections have come and gone. As Selassie, my dear friend and brother, would say, this is the time for good governance. This is time for leadership. This is a time for better followership. This is a time for us to engage and engage constructively, not to diminish the very essence of our humanness, but then to improve and critique ourselves consciously towards birthing a bigger, greater Nigeria. Hence, 2027, can I say it's around the corner? Constitutionally, though, is it okay to begin campaigns? I mean, the year is still young. I mean, this is February, right? But then Matawalle is cautioning Babachir, Lawal, affirming northern Nigeria support for Tinubu. Right? And the recent statement by Matawalle cautioning Babachir, Lawal, and affirming northern Nigeria's unwavering support for Tinubu has indeed sparked a lot of interest and debate in the political landscape of Nigeria. I mean, to understand the context of this statement, it is essential to examine the background of the relationship between Matawalle, Lawal, and Tinubu. Matawalle, now the governor of Zamfara State, has been a vocal supporter of Tinubu, while Lawal, a former secretary to the government of the Federation, has been critical of Tinubu's administration. But then the tension between Lawal and Tinubu's supporters has been escalating, with Lawal accusing Tinubu of not doing enough to address the economic challenges facing the country. Tinubu, well, if you look at it again on the other hand, right, Matawalle has been praising Tinubu's efforts to improve the security situation in the north and his commitment to the development of the region. Now, the statement by Matawalle is seen as a move to calm the situation and reassure Tinubu's supporters that the North is still behind him. But what are the underlying factors that led, to the statement? How will it affect the period? What are the implications of Matawalle's statement on the relationship between Lawal and Tinubu, and how will it impact 2027 presidential, election? We've also seen an elder statesman from the northern region saying that, look, well, that would be the APC national secretary now, or not chairman, right? National chairman, that is, Abdullahi Ganduje, saying, hey, to all the northern aspirers and every other person who's a politician in your ethos, in your persona, do not even think about 2027 because there's no vacancy right there. And it brings us, to the discourse proper, as we'll be having a human rights activist, right, who is in the person of Comrade Gerald Okachi. He is also a public affairs commentator, a social analyst, and conflict resolution expert, and his voice in the discourse this morning. A very good morning to you, Comrade. Hello, Comrade, are you there?
I'm having glitching with regards to the network, but
yes, I can hear you now. All right, awesome. Awesome. I can hear you now.
Good morning to you and to yes, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear you now?
Okay, yes. Looking at okay, yes. Looking at issues of and the counter of the threats, with regards to reassurance from a minister under Tinubu, also from the north. It goes to show that the other facts, and if you look at this graphs, it's not far-fetched. It's just in the with regards to the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and notably of these concerns with Tinubu administration primarily centered around the proposed tax reform bills is one of the main issues, where the North, especially the Northern Governors Forum, has vehemently opposed the bills, advising this. And they are also arguing that the proposed tax reforms or VAT revenue distribution would unfairly disadvantage the North, especially expressed concern that the tax reform bill would drag the North backwards and affect other regions, which include other zones like Southeast, Southwest, South-South, etc. And he also reminded Tinubu the significant support he received with regards to from the north. Then you look at the opposition to the tax reform has been strong, with over 73 lawmakers rejecting the proposal from the Senate. You understand? Up to these House reps. Then you look at some of the policies of the Bola Tinubu. One of them that has caused untold hardship is the removal of fuel subsidy, where many in the north, especially lower income groups, have been removed. The policy of naira devaluation, where poverty rates are high, and that north do well in agriculture, so they are having agricultural struggles, which they rely heavily on. Face transportation and all these challenges due to high input costs, insecurity, and the reduced government intervention has affected that which we know not with. Then you look at the perceived marginalization in appointments. Some northern elites, and the political figures believe that key federal appointments have favored the Southwest, especially Lagos and the South in general. So critics argue that the North, which played a crucial role in Tinubu's election victory, has not been adequately compensated in terms of strategic positions. You talk about the security concerns via banditry and insurgency. Many states, insurgency, from the northwest to northeast and north central, including kidnapping. Then you look at the slow response to insecurity. Some northern leaders feel Tinubu administration has not prioritized security in the region as much as expected. You look at the political tensions some who believe that they have entitlement rights or rights of entitlement, believe that they have been aligned. Some northern politicians within the ruling party feel aligned, leading to internal conflict. Look at what is happening recently with regards to El Rufai and some other heavyweights that feel that they have not been attended to. And some of the decent voices they have there is, even when the Tinubu try to fight corruption, it's perceived to be suppression of voices. Somebody like Professor Yusuf of former permanent secretary of National Health Insurance Scheme. You understand? You look at gimmicks of power shifting, and northern attempt to see how they can come back to power. Some political out of it that the North, after supporting Tinubu, should not be relegated to secondary role. You look at the removal of some of the palliative that Buhari administration brought. This is a palliative that you can call social programs. This administration has stopped it. The discontinuation or restructuring of certain social programs that benefited, such as conditional cash transfers and agricultural subsidies, has raised concern. Then you talk about the unfulfilled campaign promises. Some did not expected a quicker economic relief and development projects which have not yet materialized. Then if you put all these things together and look at the implications of the North withdrawing their support for Tinubu in 2027 and some of the implications it may cause, it goes either way. It goes either way because strengthening it, you can see on merit. By threatening to withdraw support, not only that could push Tinubu to prioritize the region's interests, including more government support, economic tensions, and security measures. The move could force Tinubu to engage more with the North to regain political will. You understand?
Right.
And at detriment of others, and that could lead into regional politics that can heighten the polity. Then you look at the potential for a stronger northern presidential candidate, because this gimmick may be in preparation to preparing a northern candidate to emerge in 2027, possibly from the opposition parties like PDP or NPP, or even a new coalition, This would ensure that northern interests are directly represented. At the highest level. So this kind of gimmick, political moves is get towards that. You look at, of course, but if you look at the only that they are doing now, he responds by reducing investments in the North. Shift focus to other regions that just yesterday we saw him visiting Prince Arthur in his Abuja residence. He may retaliate by closing ranks with other regions where he has not performed.
Look, I'm ready now.
Political fallout leads to a divided government. It might worsen security in the North, especially as the Tinubu-led administration is seen to be hobnobbing with the French. And some northern brothers believe that they have more affinity or relationship with our neighbors like in Niger, especially those from the finance aspect. They believe they have more affinity, more relationship with the Niger or Chad, and of course, we can trace that to what we want.
Right.
But we got to see the and other that we drew from it. And believing it, you begin to the for family, not me to put chairs. Brotherhood, you will look at this one eye. So the security of AU, I think, African Union. And he has, as usual, has branched to the good. We continue to say things like this. Even if ECOWAS still trying to persuade these people to reconsider their pulling out. There are certain things you can reduce yourself from this. It shouldn't be under your watch that these things are going out of hand. Right. When you look at the economic consequences for the North, a break away from Tinubu could lead to reduce federal economic policies favoring the North, such as agricultural subsidies. If investment becomes stability and slowing down economic growth and losing national influence, among many things that you can attribute to these back and forth that they're having.
Well, quite a number of people have said that we should await to see more action, and quite others have asked the question. Reveals that the economic reforms implemented by Tinubu's administration have had a significant country. He said to increase poverty, unemployment, and inequality, and that they have not addressed the fundamental challenges of facing the economy. And Matawalle and other supporters also believe that the president and the administration, in place now, have put in place reforms that are necessary, to stimulating economic growth and reducing poverty. So these arguments have been back and forth, and they've argued that the reforms have led to increased investment, improved infrastructure, enhanced economic competitiveness, and all of that. Now, it begs to ask the question, what the implications or the economic implications of this controversy, surrounding Matawalle's statement, is, and how it will affect the lives of ordinary Nigerians. But then again, just before you put your 2 cents on this, let's just go on a recess now. Go pay some bills. We'll be right back. When we do come back, we get to hear family members and as well have your reaction, to some of these concerns, if that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Very well. Well, we'll just head out now on a recess. We will be right back. Keep in mind, this is Eagle's Outlook, where we talk politics and current affairs, not forgetting that the power is in the people, and politics in this time is what we address. Matawalle cautioning Babachir Lawal and affirming northern Nigeria's support for Tinubu is what we are looking into. Don't go away.
Your number one radio experience you can count on. Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Ka san injinan naka
kuma yanzu kake faɗa mun haka
to ai nayi
ita ce ta hanyar sayan mai inganci. Shi yasa matatar man Dangote ta tace muku man fetur zuwa RON, wato tsaftataccen mai wanda shine ingantaccen man fetur din da zaka iya dogaro ko amincewa da shi a dukkanin injinan ku. Lokaci yayi da za ku kula da injinan ku, sai man Dangote mai inganci.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Has anyone told you you can talk about your business on radio for just
20,000 naira?
Get a chance to talk your business for 25 minutes on The Entrepreneur, Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja. For more inquiries, call 090-9984-4433. 090-9984-4433. Hurry now.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Welcome back from that recess, and thank you for staying with us. Still looking at the bickering that's going on between Matawalle cautioning Babachir Lawal, affirming northern Nigeria's support for Tinubu, even though there has been some persons from the northern region who have said that these persons do not indeed identify with their thoughts as to what a 2027 should look like or would look like in this regard. But then a personal story that illustrates the impact of the controversy surrounding Matawalle's statement is that of a young man from Zamfara State who has been affected by the economic reforms implemented by Tinubu's administration. Now, he said, and I quote, he said he lost his job due to the reforms and has been struggling to make ends meet. Now, he is quite disappointed with Lawal's, criticism of Tinubu, believing that the president has done a lot to improve the security situation in the north. Now, he also sees Matawalle's statement as a reassurance that the north is still behind Tinubu and that the president will continue to work for the development of the region. However, though, he's also concerned about the potential consequences of the controversy on the 2027 presidential election. Now, it gets on to the place of how this controversy, surrounding Matawalle's statement is affecting the lives of ordinary Nigerians and what expectations are there from politicians, involved. And we still have our guest, who's in the person of the comrade Gerald Okachi now, a human rights activist, a public affairs commentator, social analyst, and conflict resolution expert. Now, you can as well join the conversation right about now as you get across social media platforms at Eagles FM Abuja, particularly on YouTube and Facebook, as we are hosting a television right there. Get into the comment section and give us your thoughts in this regard, right? And also, let's hand down the numbers to you, though. What do you think about this? I mean, are campaigns open already? Should we begin to talk 2027 when we have quite a number of concerns in the country bedeviling us as Nigerians, right? Should it be institutionalized, this idea of having all of these kinds of bickering, here and there? Could it be just mere rhetorics? Could it be these two politicking just to see the reaction of Nigerians or those who? What would it be exactly, and how is this affecting the political, situation in the country as we also, put it in retrospect of 2027? But the number would be 0907 for the number 098 766 8888. The WhatsApp portal number is 0909 705 50. Let's just go now. Hello, good morning to you. All right, the message that I got 09 8 or 07330044, and the WhatsApp portal number once again 0909 705 4450. And to think that this this matter in discourse would have a social context is not unbecoming. I mean, the social context of the controversy surrounding Matawalle's statement reveals that the issue has sparked a lot of debate and discussion among Nigerians. I mean, some believe the Matawalle statement is a reflection of the North's support for Tinubu, while others believe it is an attempt to intimidate Lawal and other critics of the president. But the controversy has also highlighted the deep-seated decisions and divisions but within the country. Well, some people accusing others of being biased or partisan. The social media has also been filled with some comments, and opinions on the issue, with some people calling for calm and urging the followers to take a stand. Right. So what would be the social implications then of the controversy surrounding Matawalle's statement, and indeed how will this affect the relationships, between these two groups in the... Hello and good morning. Yes, good morning to you, please.
My name is Honorable Edward.
Yes, Honorable. Welcome aboard, Honorable. Talk to us, Honorable.
Thank you so much.
Yes, please.
You see, both the governor of Zamfara State and the former SGF, they are on their own. That is not what the North are saying. No Northerner, a genuine Northerner will come out and say this is the decision not. Now, we are in the dilemma state. I am a Northerner. We are in the dilemma state. But what is happening in this country? Can you support Tinubu? With what is happening in this country? Can you oppose Tinubu? These people, see, why I say this is that if you look at Lawal, I don't know whether he was expecting anything from Tinubu. I don't know. But the man started, if they won, started opposing Tinubu, they have not done anything, has not even started anything. I believe he's speaking for himself. He wants something from Tinubu and not give. And then the governor, Zamfara said, he's looking for second term. I have for support from Tinubu. We have to look at the list. What is happening in this country? It is out of. In fact, me as a person, I will not vote anybody again. I will not.
All right, Honorable.
I will not.
So you believe that there's an undertone to this entire discourse? I mean, there's an expectation that these two persons are looking out for from the president himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Honorable.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. No problem. Thank you. Appreciate. Yeah. Yes. Well, Honorable Edwards right there, you can tell, from the enthusiasm in his voice right there saying, oh, look, maybe there's another angle that we are missing right now. It does seem as though these two giants seemingly are pushing for a personal vendetta. They have an agenda, and that's the agenda that they are pushing for. But it will not be right for them to want to generalize this agenda and say that this is a northern discourse when it's just, a personal, anchorage, that they have. Well, hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, please. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Zakaria. I'm calling from Garki.
I didn't quite get your name. You might want to move away from where you are because it's a bit noisy.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the name?
My name is Zakaria.
Okay, where are you calling from, though?
I'm from Garki.
All right, talk to us, though.
Yes. You see, politics are started. I could tell you that for free. But the point is, what Matawalle is saying, this is part of the cabinet, and if we say anything to but I could tell you for free, the coalition they intend to do, they did not have that strength to do that coalition. If they think they have from the north, Northern, if the whole Northern vote for Northern candidate, he can't be president. That's the truth. He can't be president. And most regions, in fact, most of the region, all the regions have their own problem, one after. The Northern is right out them to take politics aside to see that those problems that is country faces, the political leaders come out and see how can they solve them. How can they solve them? Because it's them that throw a pointer to how they are going to solve their problem.
Okay.
So what Matawalle is saying, a time shall tell, but politics are started. The Southeast has their own problem. The South shall have their own, the Southwest have their own. But Northern cannot be claiming they are the only one are in problem. No. They choose to be so. And that is the truth. They choose to be so. If not, they have all it takes to see that so they are out of the problem. They have the uneducated, the whatever, and everything they are claiming, they have all it takes to be out of it. Okay. But they choose to be so in order to be controlling their voters. And I could tell you, their voters now come into insecurity. Now a lot of people can travel from Kaduna to Abuja without not having any fear. The insecurity is still there, but you can't compare it. And the Northern is there. And what is that? They killed 20, they killed 30, they go to school and attack all the students. Take that banditry as a business, which all of us say no to it. But for the National Security Advisor, that he's not an army general, but you could see the impact they're making. And the Matawalle, before they put a general itself, which is from KB State to what? Or from Zamfara Mansur Ali or something. Now the Minister of Defense. What are they defending then? What are they defending? You could see Ali received mounting this position from the Minister of Defense and the State Minister. All of them are politicians and they are co-northerners. So the northerners should rise up. They know their problem. They cannot give back to children and allow them to live their life of their own without any proper upbringing.
Right.
That is part of the problem. A lot of children will just lay in and give them guns and brainwash them in the name of religion. Religion is in the southwest, it's everywhere in Nigeria.
Right.
So the north, I'm urging the north that should take politics aside. If to say that if they say they are not comfortable with this government, they have been backward. They have been backward for a very long time, even when they are in power. So it's high time for us, the country, to move forward. That is my take.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that one from you, though. Okay, that's quite a number of angle to it. I mean, the discourse is still on here on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. It says for any region that is going through a problem, that they know their problem, and the problem is embedded with them, right? So it is not something, it's not rocket science. It is something that they have to deal with, and they have to push politics aside, he says, and focus on the main thing. We'll just take this call and get back with our guest in a short bit. Hello, good morning.
Hello, the travel today. Hello,
yes, good morning.
My
Good morning
name is
to you.
Jake. How are you?
Very well,
How
thank you.
you day for school today? I know happy. What happened?
Very well, thank you, BB. It's just fine.
The Lord is your strength.
Right, thank you.
I want just greet your voice. You know what they are talking about. You see, they will move about a hateness. This one, not my tribe. This one, not my tribe. No, okay now. But we find way how Nigeria will better for us. Nigeria and our country. You see, Igbo.
Oh, baby, we lost your call right there, but do well to get back with us. But let's get on to the WhatsApp and see what messages are there, and then we'll head out with our guest in a short bit. Now, this one coming from Abbas, reporting from Dutse, says, "Good morning, Sir UD. Good morning to you too. When I hear people talking about Tinubu policies as responsible for poverty, I think it's a misconception of economic analysts to our reality. Two major policies, Tinubu, removal of subsidy and floating the naira, was a spot-on remedy for Nigeria's economy. If not, she would have collapsed. Again, why are people feeling the heat? Is it because we have clueless governors who do not know how to implement policies to take their people out of poverty? States governors should hold the biggest magic wand to eradicate poverty from the grassroots through grassroots governance, but they are not doing nothing, rather crying at the center. Okay, crying to the center. Come 2027, Tinubu will not reduce anything given to the North with his re-election. I advise we stop thinking every president is bad while in office." All right, it says, thanks, Abbas, reporting from Dutse right there. Thank you, Abbas. Right, back with you, comrade. Are you there?
Oh, yes, I am here.
Quite a number of Nigerians have had, their thoughts, and more are still wanting to put their thoughts out there. I mean, Honorable Edwards came from the place of these two persons fighting for their agenda and not speaking generally for the North. And we have yet another, family member who has come to say that the problem is within the northern people, and it is based on their honors to solve the situation and stop all of these politicking, trying to get followership and all of that. And of course, we've seen Abbas saying that, look, when he hears that the economic woes that we are facing is as a result of the president's reform, it is quite laughable, saying that some of those reform, too precisely, floating of the naira, as well as the subsidy removal, were just spot on. I mean, they were just very key. If not, Nigeria would have collapsed economically and all of that. But then, what would be your general final thoughts? I mean, looking into some of these issues.
Well, to start with, our brother and beloved follower, Honorable Edward, in his submission, he talked about Governor Zulum seeking for second time in office, Governor Zulu is already in his second term in office. You understand? So I don't think that maybe that thinking that he's seeking attention is right, because if you look at the antecedents of Professor Zulu, everybody will attest. Every right thinking, in fact, anybody with the facts and figure will tell you that the top 5 performing governors in Nigeria, you mention Governor Zulu in it. You understand? Then you talk about, I think it's time we leave the messenger and take the message.
Okay.
It will do us a lot good.
So what is the message?
But then one of the things I kick against is regionalizing these kind of things, because if we begin to regionalize it, it will hit all the politics, because if tomorrow South, if the entire South wakes up, or maybe South or Southeast gets up and begin to play their demand and begin to shout marginalization, attention has not been given to them, a lot of this will not be good. And just like one of the callers rightly said, if only they know to vote for their candidate, they will not win. It has happened in the past. Several times, former Major General and former President Muhammadu Buhari contested without making coalition across the bridge. He suffered heavy losses. Not until he was able to, form a coalition, which metamorphosed into APC we have today. That is what gave him victory. If he had continued on his regional popularity or strength, up to date he wouldn't have been president. So these are the areas I think we can look at and leverage on. You understand? Notwithstanding, Tinubu had majority of the votes he acquired in the north. So what are the valid things they are presenting? The last contributor, from this, made mention Abbas. I think he made mention that the twin policies are something that is almost impossible to ignore with regards to what Tinubu inherited. But Tinubu was part of the government that run the country for 8 years. He nominated ministers. He made impute when Buhari was holding sway as the leader of this country. So making it look as if he's inheriting another problem, it's not good. That is us being economical with it. Now pushing it to subnationals like governors. Governors have limitation to what they can do. That is why you see them continue to cry at the center. Take for example, on Sunday, a governor in the southwest, I think Governor Jackson Adeleke, organized a press conference, raised the alarm that it's just like a witch cries at night, a child dies in the morning, that there could be possible unrest or crisis in his state if it's not put in check with regards to Honorable Minister Etola, who was a former governor and a nephew to the president, to our president, trying to implement their perceived interpretation of the appeal court. And we expected that our leadership will be proactive. The Nigerian Police Force will be proactive in that call. They weren't. Rather, what we said today was merely at the Lagos State House of Assembly, and at the end of the day, what the governor was crying for, if he had the opportunity as chief security officer of the state, he would have implemented it, because you know that even if he direct police will look up to the center. Okay. The mayhem he was avoiding happened, unless we are lost. So what we're trying to say, the issue of trying to divert attention, pushing it to subnationals or governors as if they are not working. I want to give you another example. A governor of Kogi State, that is Governor Usman Ododo.
Yeah.
We saw the exemplary leadership is leading in that state. Before his emergency, the state we are struggling to pay me.
Hello, comrade, are you there? Hello? Right, for some reason we are not able to connect with the comrade at this point. But yeah, I think the bulk of it, has been put out there. Comrade Gift by Comrade Catchy. Let's see how we can, reconnect you and even if it's just a line or two in your final submission. But yes, we still see the phone lines buzzing at this point in time. Hello, good morning.
Mr. Odua, sorry for calling again.
Yeah.
My name is Honorable.
Yes, please.
I just actually misunderstood everything. I like his own. Anytime he's here, I enjoy it. But what just say? In fact, it is everything. Any other who's not doing anything, that person don't even like this country. What the government? That is the first step to know that all that.
That's okay, Honorable. Appreciate you.